Welcome everyone, and this is Crazy Apple. I just wanted to do this video right now because I wanted to share with you guys what happened over the past weekend with Southeast Asia Wild Rift, and it was a battle of the nations for Southeast Asia Esports Championship, and at the grand finals, it was between Philippines and Vietnam, arguably some of the best countries right now when it comes to Wild Rift. Philippines has been winning it all since about last year, while Vietnam, one of the top dogs in League of Legends Wild Rift as well, but hasn't been winning as much in terms of the international stage when it comes to the Philippines. And now this was their chance to try and take it back, but alas, it was Philippines taking the series 3-0. But at the same time, you really can't discount Vietnam here because Vietnam kept things close throughout the whole series. And with this, with the third game right here, you're gonna see what I'm talking about in terms of how close the series was. But before we get into some of the key fights that I want to walk you guys through here, I wanted to start things out with just the compositions, just setting the scene a bit here in terms of what you are gonna see and what are expectations coming here. So first off, here in the Philippine side, we do see Riven, Zed, Jace, Ziggs, and the Alistar. Sorry about that. You're gonna see the Riven and the Zed and the Jace with a lot of those AD damage, while Ziggs is gonna be that AP, the magic damage side. So it's gonna be a lot of poke coming up from the Philippine side, particularly with that Jace and the Ziggs. But the thing is, when it comes to the engage portion of their composition, it's gonna come mostly from the Alistar, a bit from the Riven as well. But the thing is, Riven has a lot of these short hops, so it's not as reliable as, let's say, the headbutt pulverize combination coming from that Alistar being used by draw. So do I expect for the Philippine side they will try to go for these big engages immediately, throwing everything down with their AoE because they have a lot of the AoE coming from the accelerated shock blast, along with that Ziggs, as well as the start of the fight, which you do expect coming from the Alistar with that pulverize. While on the other side, you do see for Vietnam, a lot of it is really gonna come down to Meliodas if you can clean up these fights. Meliodas, as we all know, one of the strongest junglers in Vietnam and in Southeast Asia. He is the real carry for Vietnam here in this game, which we're gonna be see later on. They do also have good solo laners on that Fiora and Renekton, which can stand their own against either one of the solo laners as well from the Philippines. But the thing is, what's the difference in the composition for Vietnam is they like to take longer fights, right? Because they have the shields coming from the Karma, the Mantred shields. There's a lot of healing coming out from this Renekton, Gragas, and Fiora. Even the Kha'Zix has their own form of self healing. So if fights go for long, Vietnam will be able to take a lot of these fights. I'll just play the video right here because I want to show you guys just up to the first blood, and then we'll be jumping to the next clip, which would be around the first Rift Herald fight. But yeah, for that, you're gonna see here a very aggressive fight gonna be taken in the mid lane between Aaron and BMM. You see here BMM is a bit late into the lane, missing a couple of minions worth of XP. So now Aaron has that XP advantages, wants to really take a hold of it. But the thing is, he's gonna misplay a bit here. You're gonna see he's gonna be auto attacking that minion before going for the flash. So he had a bit of that cooldown because of the attack speed that he didn't have yet. So first blood does go to the side of Vietnam, giving them a bit of that early advantage. Later on, we're gonna see how Philippines sets up for these fights and really trying to take control of the game, as well as trying to trying to really take hold of how to make use of their composition. Here, as you can see on the screen, Rift Herald has spawned. We're gonna see here the Philippines trying to set things up in terms of a counter engage into the Herald pit. Looking at the map, you're gonna see here three wards right now, three blue wards for the Philippines. So there's one in the tri bush in the topside river, and there's another in that other entrance to the river. So they now have spotted Meliodas walking his way into the Herald, and you can see here as soon as Draw sees that, he's gonna move himself along with Joshi going towards that pit. And now Vietnam also responds because Meliodas is starting this now. They are committed to be taking this Rift Herald, and Philippines wants to challenge this because it's very even at this point in time. And the first kill did go to the side of Vietnam, but the Herald, the main objective here, has been secured by Philippines. So it is a good victory for them. But as you see here, the fight is a bit even for both sides so far. It's 2-2. I believe they're gonna stop there in terms of the 2-2. But the thing here that I want to mention is you do see really good vision control for the Philippine side, especially taking these objectives. Later on, you're gonna see when Vietnam has that element of surprise, that element of mystery, wherein Philippines won't have that clear reconnaissance, right? In terms of knowing where they are, Vietnam is gonna take the fights. So let's skip to about 9:14:44 on the clock, which is about when the second dragon is taken here. I believe by Vietnam, because a lot of the dragons have been taken by Vietnam, and at this point in time, we do see that the gold is still pretty even, but the dragon now, both dragons are on the side of Vietnam. So Philippines is feeling a bit of that pressure since they are nearing that third Drake point. They're going to near that elder Drake point. The scaling right now is going to the side of Vietnam, and they want to force something to maybe take this Baron that has just spawned into the map. And how are they going to do that? Well, they're going to try to go for a fight in the bot lane, and that is something that is not as advice right now for Philippines, because Vietnam knows where they're coming from. They don't have that chokehold vision. They don't have that advanced knowledge of where everyone was. And you just saw a couple of seconds ago, Aaron on that chase just recalled. So now it's a 4v4 fight. They don't have the numbers advantage, and they're going to try to force this fight here in the bot lane, starting things out with the Alistar going for that headbutt pulverize combo, and Vietnam immediately responds. And they just bought so much time here for all of the members of the Vietnamese squad to get here and try to help the team. Yes, BMM does fall down, but with a lot of the initial engage being thrown here by the Philippine squad, they are able to be chased down by the Mantrad shields coming from Genza, just keep chasing them down. And then there's also that Kha'Zix from Meliodas who resets each time you get those takedowns. And now two members are down from the Philippines while only one from Vietnam. This essentially shows how Vietnam, after the first Rift Herald fight, has been taking these fights against the Philippines. And in terms of a mechanical output, it's just Vietnam has been outplaying Philippines by just a tad bit in these fights. But when it comes to some of the key points here in this game, Philippines were just eke out a bit of that advantage, try to take things on more of a macro level, and that's where they will be edging out Vietnam here to take the 3-0 in this best of 5 series. Next that I want to show here, if we just keep on playing the clip right here, we'll eventually see another fight between Philippines and Vietnam near this Baron pit, because now Philippines is like, okay, we didn't lose that fight as badly, so Baron is still on the table for us. Vietnam is not forcing it yet. Draw and Chami are just gonna get back into the map, and then let's try to get a pick on Baron. And Vietnam, on the other hand, is also thinking, hey, Baron's only a big objective on the map. If we get this, we'll have a good siege going into the Philippine base, and they'll be trying to end the game from there. I'll just be skipping here the instant replay because we did see earlier that fight right there. But here, you'll see this will be the start of the Baron fight. As you can see right here, Meliodas is just buying his time. Here I just pause it right here to show it's always Draw who's starting the fights out for the Philippine squad. And again, Vietnam, they love these sustained fights, these long drawn out fights. They chunk out the members of Philippines, and then the Kha'Zix will just jump in for the kill. The first kill he'll be getting here is on draw on that Alistar, and without that Alistar and a lot of low health members from the Philippines side, Meliodas is just gonna get these kills over and over and over again. He's gonna be eventually getting an unofficial pentakill right here, and this is one of the good examples of how Vietnam has been really winning these fights, because their composition allows them to go for these long engagements, while for the Philippines they need to blow a lot of their damage initially and make sure that they get a couple of members down before they could really say, hey, we can clean up the rest of the fight. And Meliodas right here and BMM are the last ones alive. But do take note how long and how costly that fight was for Vietnam as well. It was a really good job from Chami to draw out Meliodas and force him to go for that unofficial pentakill, because it's gonna cost Vietnam a lot of macro presence. Because of that long chase for Chami, they're not able to two-man the Baron. They weren't able to get more objectives. If you saw right there, in terms of the death timers, Aaron and Jar coming back to the map, just she and Demon Kite just 10 seconds away. And this is going to be crucial for the last fight of the game that we're going to be seeing here, which is about 9:19:31 based on the time here on YouTube. So here, just to set things up, right now Vietnam, they got shooed away from the Baron fight, so they're gonna take a less impactful objective. Maybe the Philippines won't be trying to fight for this as hard, but remember, Vietnam is on the red side of the map. So in terms of defending the objective, it's gonna be harder for them because they need to go over these walls. And yes, they do have jumps on the Kazakhs, on the Renekton, and on the Fiora, but it's a longer route for them. So it's gonna be harder for them to chase down Philippines when they try to go in. And you're gonna see here a very overextended engage coming from Vietnam, specifically from Akena right here. He's gonna try to pick out Draw, since Draw is the main engage tool here from the Philippine squad. They want to make sure to secure this dragon because it enables them for the Elder and the Baron fight later on. Akena actually goes for Demon Kite, not for Draw, and Draw with a beautiful headbutt pulverized combo right there to stop the initial engage. And now Vietnam, they're feeling the pressure right here. Philippines has recovered their spacing, their positioning here in this fight. And what I want you guys to look at is where Draw will be restarting the fight against Vietnam. He's gonna be hitting 3 members from Vietnam with that knock-up combo. Look right here. The 3 airborne targets who have gone to the sides. It's the Fiora and the Kazakhs. 2 of the strongest, I would say one of the biggest DPS threats right now from Vietnam, specifically Meliodas, where we just saw earlier he had that unofficial pentakill. And now, what does that mean? You don't have the Karma in the fight, you don't have the Gragas in the fight, you don't have the Renekton in the fight, because they're just gonna be melted right here by the Philippine squad. It's gonna give this space for it's not gonna give the space for Meliodas to be able to deal the damage of the Philippine squad and try to pick them off one by one. Immediately, Genza is out of the fight, so no more shields for the side of Vietnam. And next, you're gonna see the next target right here from the Philippines is gonna be Akeno. Take away the Gragas, take away the support who's gonna get a bit more of that healing, and then Y1 is the one who got isolated right there, where Meliodas is not able to finish anyone from the Philippine side. Eventually, Philippines will be able to clean up the members of Vietnam here. Meliodas even taking a cheesy Raptors right there, and Philippines don't even look at the objectives. They don't look at the dragon. They don't look at the Baron. They go immediately for the kill for the base, because that is substantial death timers right there for the Vietnam squad. 20 seconds for 2 members from Vietnam. Only Meliodas is left. Eventually, he will be cleaned up right there by the Philippine squad, and they get the win 3-0 in the grand finals here for the C Esports Championship. Yeah, if you're still here, thank you so much for watching the video and watching me. explain and babble on analyze the game so far here in the grand finals of the Southeast Asia Esports Championship for Wild Rift. Hope to see you guys again. Visit my channel. I hope to make more videos like this, especially when WRL Asia kicks off, hopefully soon, to see a lot of the Chinese teams as well as some of the Pacific region teams from Southeast Asia, Korea, and Japan duke it out in what is the biggest stage right now for League of Legends Wild Rift. So, that's it for me. Hope to see you guys again soon.